Hello, dear participants. Today, I will talk to you about an exciting topic, Mars, the fourth planet of our solar system. Mars has been a planet that has fascinated people throughout history and has been waiting to be explored. Let's get started. The red planet, Mars, has captivated scientists and space enthusiasts for years. This mysterious planet has been the subject of numerous missions and research, leading to astonishing events and discoveries that deepen our understanding of the cosmos. It was first recorded 4,000 years ago, but it was closely examined in much greater detail after the invention of the telescope in the 17th century. In 1877, Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli created the first map of Mars using a 22 cm telescope. The most remarkable feature of this map was the presence of canali, channels. For quite some time, these canals were thought to be constructed by an advanced civilization living on Mars. However, in 1930, Eugene M. Antoniadi published a more detailed Mars map, which revealed that the canals were an optical illusion. In the 1960s, both the Soviet Union and the United States began sending spacecraft to Mars. These were flyby vehicles that approached Mars and then continued on their path. None of the 9 spacecraft sent by the Soviet Union achieved their intended objectives. On the other hand, the US Mariner 5, sent in 1965, passed close to Mars and transmitted the first close-up photographs of a planet beyond Earth. In the same year, 1971, the US Mariner 9 spacecraft became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet outside of Earth, systematically mapping the planet Mars. In 1971, the Soviet Union sent another spacecraft named Mars 2 to Mars. However, it also failed to achieve its objective due to a computer malfunction, and crashed on Mars nearly 47 years ago on November 27, 1971.
About a month later, its sibling spacecraft, Mars 3, managed to achieve a soft landing on the planet, but communication was lost just 14.5 seconds after landing. Mariner 9 arrived at Mars during a massive dust storm on the surface. When the storm subsided, the first things seen were the peaks of enormous volcanoes in a region called the Tharsis Plateau. As you can see on topographic maps, these volcanoes are quite tall, with some reaching heights of 20 kilometers, while others are 3 times higher than Mount Everest. So far, we haven't observed anything larger in our solar system. The name Tharsis has a connection to a place mentioned in the Bible and Torah, and there is also a suggested link to Tarsus, a city in Turkey's Mersin province. The first spacecraft to successfully land on Mars and send us signals was Viking 1. It landed on July the 20th, 1976, in a region called the Golden Plain on Mars and served for over 6 years. This was the moment when it sent its first photograph after landing, the first time we saw another planet from its surface. Approximately 20 years later, in 1997, the Pathfinder spacecraft landed on Mars. Unlike previous landing missions, this spacecraft brought something small with it, a 6-wheeled explorer, a rover. Indeed, we had started remotely operating a rover on another planet. Although the Sojourner rover and Pathfinder could only travel up to 100 meters, they managed to capture 16,500 photographs and perform 8.5 million measurements, sending the results back to Earth. In 2004, 2 more rovers landed on Mars. The first one was Spirit, which was initially planned to operate for 90 Martian days, Sol, and cover only 600 meters. However, it exceeded expectations and continued its journey for over 5 years, covering a total distance of about 8 kilometers before getting stuck in soft sand. Shortly after Spirit, its twin sibling, Opportunity, landed on Mars in 2004. Just 3 weeks later. After landing, this rover explored its surroundings and first examined the Endurance crater, taking photographs. Then, it headed south and discovered the fragmented heat shields of the spacecraft that brought it there. It sent us the first scientific evidence of past water on Mars, which we'll discuss shortly. In total, it traveled about 46 kilometers before getting caught in one of Mars' infamous sandstorms in June 2018. As a result, scientists put it in a deep sleep mode. Currently, There are plans to wake it up again and continue its journey soon. Here we are. Thanks to rovers, spacecraft, and orbiting satellites' photographs, we can take a detailed tour on Mars. Now, as part of this tour, I'm taking you to Olympus Mons, the highest mountain in the solar system. It covers an area of 600 kilometers in diameter, roughly equivalent to the size of France. Due to its convex edges, these types of volcanic mountains are called shield volcanoes. The Hawaiian Islands on Earth are formed by such volcanoes. In Turkey, we also have shield volcanoes like Mount Karakadag and Mount Tendrek, located in the southern region of Mount Agr, which is still active, similar to those on Mars. Olympus Mons East, you can see a grey strip that has been photographed in higher resolution. As you approach and examine the surface, you can observe the traces left by flowing lava. These photographs were taken with high-resolution cameras on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which was sent to Mars orbit in 2006. However, in such photos, color information is sacrificed to maintain high resolution, which is why they appear in black and white. In the slightly different colored strip you see in the center, a photographic technique called false color is used. In those regions, spectra beyond the range visible to the human eye are also recorded. This provides us with valuable scientific data, especially about the terrain's characteristics. When looking at Mars photos, besides the traces of lava, we can also see Mars dust. These dust particles can accumulate like snow on Earth and can cause dust avalanches similar to avalanches seen in snowy regions. Now, as we zoom in, you will notice the tracks of these dust avalanches. The blue spot you currently see is approximately the size of a bus. Due to its vast coverage, this mountain has a gradual increase in height, resulting in gentle slopes. Additionally, there are steep cliffs at the edges of this mountain. Now, let's take a look at the summit of the mountain. Indeed, the summit of this mountain looks quite different from the peaks of mountains on Earth. The photographs of this region also show clouds in patches of white. At the summit, there are a total of 6 calderas, which are collapsed craters. These calderas form deep pits with a depth of approximately 3.5 kilometers. Another remarkable feature on Mars is the canyons. Stretching east of the Tharsis region, we have the Valles Marineris Canyon. It was named after the Mariner spacecraft, which first photographed it. This canyon, also known as the Mariner Valley, is approximately 200 kilometers wide and stretches for an impressive 4,000 kilometers in length. If there were Portugal to the west, and you entered the canyon and walked eastward, you would eventually end up in Egypt. While Valles Marineris is one of the largest in the solar system, an even larger one exists on Earth, the East African Rift Valley. In fact, they share similarities in their structures. Unlike other types of valleys, these magnificent structures are not formed by rivers but rather due to geological rifts and collapses. In this high-resolution photograph taken in the Juventai region, you can see a mountain with a height of 2.5 kilometers. It appears like a multi-layered building. Each layer of this structure is actually formed by sulfate deposition. Scientists believe that magnesium sulfate might also be present here. This substance is used in medicine and beauty products. So, if you ever watch a YouTube video promoting face creams imported from Mars, know that the raw materials come from here. Indeed, water on Mars has been at the center of scientific interest due to its vital importance for potential human settlements. The discovery of ancient river valleys, polar ice masses, and water-related minerals suggests that Mars might have been a wetter and potentially habitable planet in the past. The presence of methane in Mars' atmosphere has fascinated researchers as it could be an indicator of active biological or geological processes. Despite the detection of periodic methane signals, the exact source still remains a mystery, leading to ongoing investigations. The Perseverance, as in rover, launched on July 30th, 2020, successfully reached Mars on February 18th, 2021. As the fourth rover sent to Mars, Perseverance is the first surface exploration vehicle with the primary goal of searching for traces of life. However, unlike previous rovers, Perseverance's mission is not solely focused on searching for evidence of past life. It also has another important objective, which is to facilitate the production of oxygen from carbon dioxide, much like a plant does. Indeed, to achieve this, a device called MOXIE, Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, has been placed inside the Perseverance rover. MOXIE is designed to perform the process of producing oxygen on Mars. Regarding how this device works, it takes in the CO2 gas from the Martian atmosphere and passes this molecule through a solid oxide electrolysis cell to undergo electrolysis. Through this process, it separates the molecules, producing O2 gas, which is then released back into the Martian environment. The answer to the question of how much oxygen MOXIE can produce is approximately in the range of 10 to 22 grams per hour. The exploration of Mars is a continuous effort that provides valuable information about the history and potential of our neighboring planet. With each mission, we are getting one step closer to unraveling the mysteries of Mars, paving the way for future space explorations, and possibly even human presence on the Red Planet one day.